Well, Matt, since last we spoke, I think a couple of sort of squad changes. So you've recalled a central defender, given the issues you've got that James Connolly comes back. Has he arrived back at the club and training yet?
He's not training yet. He's got a little bit of tightness in his hamstring. I think he picked that up on the back of the Christmas period fixtures. We've been monitoring his situation, but then obviously, like you've touched upon with the injuries we've got in our back line, it's a great opportunity for him to come in and to stake a claim for first team football.
So nothing too long term in terms of him not being available?
We don't think so. He's obviously cup-tied this weekend, so he's absent from that. So it gives us probably a 4 or 5 day window where we settle down the current injury he's got and his symptoms, and hope that turns around quickly towards the Barnsley game.
And he's somebody who's decent age, got a good amount of experience, so he comes back in and gives you a nice option there.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky because he's been playing, so he's in a rhythm of games. He should be fit. The disparity between the levels isn't great, especially for a centre half. So he's where he needs to be. Once we get this weekend out of the way, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I can't wait to see what he's got to offer, what he can bring, where he can improve this group of players, and he'll certainly get some good game time as well. So lots to look forward to. Hopefully he wants to be here. He seems to be happy that we've recalled him, and we must thank Morecambe for their part. They've played in that as well, because for any player to go out on long loan, young or old, it's important they get the experience and the exposure they need, and we certainly feel James has had that.
And Lamar has gone back to Aston Villa, I think, this afternoon. Was that just one where it didn't quite work out for him? Yeah,
but when I came into the club 5 or 6 weeks ago now, he'd been involved to a certain extent, but not consistently. That was what he was looking for. I wasn't able to give it to him. Did I see enough in that time to give him that opportunity? Probably not. So he's gone back with our best wishes. Same as any player, like we just spoke about James. When you're on loan, even more so from a Premier League club, you probably expect to be getting more opportunities. But you've got to really fight for the chance to play for a shirt at Bristol Rovers. And like I say, we just didn't feel it quite fitted into the dynamic, which has probably worked for us in the last few weeks.
So obviously the window is now open. You are hopeful of trying to get something done or get a little bit of movement. Anything moving closer yet?
Well, moving parts in different positions. I suppose first protocol is, like we spoke about, sorting out a few of the loan situations, and there'll be a few more to come. And then not expressing our interest, because we've probably already done that. Seeing where everyone is at elsewhere in the market. Very little really happens in the first week of January unless has been lined up, and I have to be honest in terms of probably where the club is, because of the change in management and change in coaching staff and the change in recruitment dynamic, we're probably playing a little bit of catch up.
Yeah, which makes it difficult, because you've got, I'm sure, certain areas you'd like to have different options in. You'll have known that for a little amount of time, but is it one where, because of all of that, you're probably looking later in the window for any significant moves, or could you get something done sooner?
Yeah, but we have to also remember this is a big squad, and a deep squad, and we've got half a dozen, if not more, senior players currently unavailable or on the outskirts of the squad. So there's no desperation to sign players. Of course, we always want to improve. Every window, any football club, any manager, any team wants to improve their playing personnel. But we have to pick the right players, and we have to make sure there's not an upgrade in terms of what we have, but people who add something to the group. That's what you always aim to do in any window. If you can get them on a longer term contracts, then you always move in the right direction. Every window goes by, but January is an inflated market. We know that. It's sometimes very false, and you do very well to get players who have been playing regularly to come in and hit the ground running.
So would it be fair to say that it's not you have to get players out to bring them in, but you'd be looking at getting a little bit of movement out before you start recruiting too much?
Well, you're always looking for the balance. I think that every manager's doing the same in relation to that. We can't just stockpile players here, certainly not on well-financed players as well. So we have to get the balance right, and obviously in relation to the financial aspects of the football club, that's important. But we're also trying to find who are the younger ones coming through. As much as you look outside the building, you've also got to look within it. We've had no real contact with the academy thus far this season. That needs to improve. We need to find out who the next ones are coming through. I'm sure the Bristol Rovers fans are looking at the next names from the youth part of the club to come through and then affect the first team pitch. We've probably had it in recent years with Luca to a certain extent, but not many more. So is there anyone within our ranks who can improve us and do a job, and we see signs and we don't want to block their pathway for the future? And then we're also seeing where we can improve the playing dynamics of the first team.
And is that something, obviously you'd like to have it done now, but is that more for maybe the summer and trying to get those processes so that you can get good eyes on academy products and get them linking up with you a bit better than they have done probably over the last 3 or 4 years?
Yes, possibly. That will take time, and the players have to be good enough. I mean, to say that, there's no point bringing young players up into the first team environment if they're not quite good enough. That's probably the worst thing you can do, and it affects their development in a greater way than actually the opposite. So we've got to assess them, and we need eyes to do that. We need manpower, and we need a bit of time, and we need to build a connection. I mean, Byron spent some serious time with us, and will continue to do that. Steve Tully's been up with us, so all of a sudden there's a connection growing, and we want to start building that.
And with that backroom staff, obviously Jamie McAllister's come in. Are you happy with what you've got now, or do you think there might be more additions or movement?
Look, you're always looking for additions, and you're always looking for movement, so you're never too sure what might come up. Depends on availability. I'm really pleased because Kevin Bond has been here from day one and been here previously, almost in 2 separate spells. He's been absolutely excellent with his experience and expertise and influence on the group, and then Jamie's coming in the last week or so and obviously starting to affect it. Byron's been a constant since I've come into the football club, so I'm really pleased with where it's at the moment, but like the playing personnel, you're always looking for more. We're greedy like that.
Yeah. So this weekend, Norwich, FA Cup, is this a match that does get the juices going in terms of away at a higher division team?
Yes, every game should get the juices flowing, but the beauty of the football, they are a serious team, a serious level, with quality all over the pitch, and it's in the cup competition which we all dream of having success in. We have to be realistic in terms of the finals and lifting that trophy, but we can certainly progress in this competition. But we will have to be at our very best, and we'll have to have a little bit of luck, and some things go our way at the weekend.
Because they're not having the best of times in the Championship, but they've got some big name players throughout the team. Is this maybe not the worst time to face a team that have been having a few struggles?
Well, I think they struggled more at the start of the season. I think that's a fair assessment of their season thus far. And they, in this last month, 6 weeks, they seem to have picked up. And you look at some of their score lines and the personnel they've got, and probably some of the injured players coming back and affecting it as well. So they'll only get stronger, I'm sure, if they invest, which I'm sure they will in this window, like everyone else is trying to do. Then they will be pushing for playoffs, if not above that, at that level. So we know the size of the task this weekend, but that makes it a little bit more, gets the blood flowing a little bit, and with the hope and expectation that we can perform at that level. It'd be a really good test for some of our players who we feel, and probably they feel, are capable of playing that level, to go up against it and to see the speed of it.